The evening sky was turning soft orange when Alina walked toward her sister Maya's apartment building. It was one of the most expensive apartment towers in the whole city, tall, shiny, and beautiful. Rich people walked in and out wearing suits, carrying designer bags and looking confident. Alina, in her simple clothes, looked out of place. She held a small gift bag in her hand. She had bought Maya a candle because Maya loved candles. It wasn't expensive, but it was something from the heart. As she stepped inside the lobby, she felt a little nervous. She always felt this way around Maya. Not because she feared her, but because Maya never missed a chance to remind her how poor or unsuccessful she was. Alina took a deep breath and pressed the elevator button. Today was supposed to be a normal visit. But she had no idea that this day would change everything. When she reached Maya's floor, she heard shouting even before she knocked. The door was half open and Maya's loud, angry voice came through like thunder. "I swear I can't deal with this anymore. If one more thing goes wrong, I'm leaving this stupid apartment." Her words hit Alina like a slap. She walked in slowly. Maya stood in the middle of the living room, her hair messy, her hands shaking. Papers were scattered all over the floor and the apartment manager, Mr. Collins, was standing there quietly, holding a folder. "What happened?" Alina asked softly. Maya whipped around. Her eyes were sharp with anger. "Oh, look who is here," Maya snapped. "Little miss, I can't even pay my own bills, decided to visit." Alina stayed silent. She had heard these words before. Maya pointed at the papers on the floor. "Do you know how much stress I'm under? Do you?" She didn't wait for an answer. "Of course you don't. You've never had real responsibilities. You can't even afford a proper apartment, and you think you understand my problems?" Alina looked down. Her heart hurt, but she didn't speak. Maya continued shouting. "This place costs real money. Not your small shopping money. You can't imagine paying $3,200 every month." Mr. Collins cleared his throat politely, trying to calm her. "Ma'am, yelling won't solve this." Maya cut him off. "Don't ma'am me. It's your system that messed up the payments." Alina frowned slightly. "Payments?" She looked at the manager. "Is there some issue?" she asked quietly. Before Mr. Collins could speak, Maya jumped in. "Yes, there's an issue. They lost my payment records. Can you believe that?" She waved her hands dramatically. "And now they're saying my rent hasn't been paid for 2 years. 2 years? What a joke." Alina's heart dropped. She knew that wasn't a joke. But she kept her face still. Mr. Collins stepped forward. "Ma'am," he said gently, "we haven't lost anything. Everything is very clear in our system." Maya laughed loudly, mocking him. "Oh please. I pay every month. I'm not like her." She pointed rudely at Alina. "She can't even afford groceries without help." Alina felt heat rise in her eyes. She didn't want to cry. She really didn't. Mr. Collins turned toward Alina slowly. "Ms. Alina," he said politely, "should we continue the same payment arrangement next month as well?" The room went dead silent. Maya froze. Her mouth slowly opened in confusion. "What did he just say?" she whispered. Alina's hands trembled. She shook her head slightly, trying to stop him from speaking. But Mr. Collins continued, unaware of her fear. "Would you like to keep paying the $3,200 monthly rent the same way? Or would you prefer automatic debit?" Maya's eyes widened. Her jaw dropped. She turned to her sister, her voice barely a whisper. "What is he talking about?" Alina looked away. Her heart was beating so fast she could hear it in her ears. She whispered, "Maya, can we talk later?" But Maya wasn't listening. She grabbed Mr. Collins' folder and opened it roughly. Her eyes scanned the pages. Then she saw it. Bank transfers. Receipts. Signatures. All under Alina's name. Maya's voice cracked as she read out loud. "Payment paid by Alina Khan, every month for 24 months." She stumbled backward. The shock on her face was real. "What is this?" she whispered. Alina closed her eyes for a moment. She never wanted this day to come. She never wanted her sister to find out. This was supposed to stay a secret forever. Mr. Collins stepped back, sensing the rising tension. Maya's voice grew louder, filled with disbelief. "You paid my rent? You?" She pointed her finger in Alina's face. "Tell me this is a joke." Alina opened her eyes, tears shining but not falling. "It's not a joke," she said softly. Maya stepped back like she was hit. And then the room exploded. "Why?" she screamed. "You can't even take care of yourself. Why would you pay my rent?" Her voice echoed in the apartment. But Alina didn't answer. Not yet. Because the real reason. was a story Maya never knew. A story that would break her heart and change everything between them. Forever. For a long moment, no one in the apartment moved. Maya stood frozen, gripping the folder of rent receipts as if it were something dangerous. Her hands shook, her face pale, her eyes wide with disbelief. Alina stood quietly, her shoulders soft, her expression calm but tired, like someone who had been holding a heavy secret for too long. Mr. Collins, the apartment manager, looked from one sister to the other. He cleared his throat gently. I think I should give you both some space. But before he could turn away, Maya snapped. No. You stay right here. I need to understand this. Her voice trembled, not with anger now, but with shock. She pointed to the papers again. This says she paid my rent. Every month. For 24 months. She shook the papers in her hand. Explain this. Why does it say that? Alina took a slow breath. Maya, can we sit down? No, Maya said sharply. I want answers. Right now. There was no escape. Alina looked at the manager and nodded softly. It's okay, Mr. Collins. You can stay. He sighed and stepped back respectfully, giving them space but staying in the room. Maya crossed her arms tightly. Tell me the truth, Alina. Why would you do something so crazy? You're the one who's always broke. The words were harsh, but they came from confusion, not cruelty. Still, they stung. Alina lifted her eyes. Her voice was small but steady. I'm not broke, Maya. Maya blinked as if she didn't understand that one simple sentence. What? You? Not broke. She laughed nervously. Alina, come on. You don't even dress like someone with money. You don't spend like someone with money. Alina smiled sadly. That's because I don't spend my money on myself. Maya's mouth opened, but no words came out. Alina continued softly, I live simply. I save. I don't buy things I don't need. Maya frowned, still confused. So you're telling me, you saved enough to pay my rent? That kind of money? $3,200 every month. Alina nodded. Yes. Maya sank onto the couch like her legs couldn't hold her. But why? Why would you hide something like this from me? Why would you pay for me? Alina sat down across from her, folding her hands on her lap. Because you needed help. Maya looked up sharply. I never asked for help. Yes, Alina said gently. You did. Maya opened her mouth to argue, but Alina continued before she could speak. 2 years ago, you were in trouble. Memory flashed across Maya's face, the job she lost, the bills she couldn't handle, the nights she cried in her car, the days she avoided everyone out of shame. She swallowed hard. I remember, Maya whispered. Alina continued, her voice soft like a warm breeze. You came to me one night. You were shaking. You said you were scared you would lose everything. You told me you didn't know what to do. Maya looked down embarrassed. And you asked me? Alina's eyes softened. If I could help you. Just for 1 month. Tears formed in Maya's eyes. She whispered, I didn't think you would say yes. Alina nodded slowly. I said yes. Maya looked up again, her eyes full of emotion. But, I thought you helped for just 1 month. Alina shook her head gently. After that first month, I found out you still didn't have a job. You were trying but nothing was working. You were drowning. Maya's lips trembled. And I didn't want you to lose your home, Alina continued. So I spoke to the landlord. We made a deal. I would pay quietly. No one would know. Maya pressed her hand over her mouth as tears rolled down her cheeks. But, why wouldn't you tell me? She whispered. I would have said thank you. Alina looked down softly. You were so stressed. You already felt like a failure. I didn't want to make you feel weaker by telling you I was paying for you. Maya cried harder. I'm such an idiot, she whispered. I treated you like garbage. I called you broke. I made fun of your clothes. I insulted you every chance I got. She shook her head in disbelief. And all this time, you were the one carrying me? Alina didn't speak. She didn't want to make her sister feel worse. But Mr. Collins stepped forward slowly. If I may, he said gently. This is one of the most selfless things I've ever seen. Maya wiped her eyes, her voice breaking. Alina, why didn't you stop me? Why didn't you defend yourself? Why did you let me talk to you like that? Alina's voice cracked just a little. Because I didn't want you to feel humiliated. You were finally getting your life back together. I didn't want to take that confidence away. Maya covered her face with both hands. Her body shook as she cried. Alina leaned forward. Maya, please listen. Maya slowly lowered her hands. Alina's eyes were full of love, not anger. I didn't help you because I wanted something from you. I didn't help you because I expected praise. I helped you because you are my sister. And I didn't want you to fall. Maya stared at her for a long moment. Then she whispered the words Alina had been waiting to hear for years. I'm sorry. But this apology was only the beginning. Because the truth? The worst confrontation hadn't happened yet. The apartment was quiet except for Maya's soft crying. The folder of rent receipts lay open on the table like a truth that could no longer be hidden. Alina sat calmly, hands folded, eyes gentle. But inside her heart, old memories began to rise. Memories Maya had never seen. Memories she had carried alone. Maya wiped her tears and whispered, "Tell me everything, please. I need to know why you did this." Alina nodded slowly. "Okay. I'll tell you from the beginning." Maya leaned back on the couch, still shaking a little. Mr. Collins waited quietly in the corner, listening respectfully. And finally, Alina began. 2 years ago. Alina stood in a small grocery store holding her phone. Her hands felt cold. Maya's name was flashing on the screen. This was unusual. Maya never called her unless she needed something. Alina answered. "Maya? Are you okay?" There was silence at first. Then a broken voice said, "Alina, can you come? I need you." Alina didn't ask questions. She grabbed her bag and ran out of the store. She found Maya sitting in her car, parked outside Alina's tiny apartment building. Her face was wet with tears, mascara smudged, hair messy, nothing like her usual strong, confident self. Alina opened the door. "Maya? What happened?" Maya broke apart. "I lost my job. They fired me today. I have no savings left. My rent is due in 2 weeks. I don't know what to do." She was shaking so hard that Alina immediately wrapped her arms around her. "It's okay," Alina said softly. "I'm here. Just breathe." Maya cried into her shoulder like a child. She wasn't the proud, arrogant Maya everyone knew. She was scared, alone, broken. That night, Maya slept on Alina's small couch. Her expensive clothes were crumpled. Her expensive perfume was gone. She looked human, fragile. The first payment. The next morning, Maya said quietly, "I just need help for 1 month. 1 month until I get back on my feet." Alina nodded with a smile. "Of course, I'll help." Maya asked, "How much do you have in your savings?" Alina didn't answer that question. She only said, "I'll take care of it." And she did. She went to the landlord, explained the situation, and asked if she could pay the rent directly without Maya knowing. The landlord agreed, impressed by Alina's kindness and honesty. And so, the first $3,200 left Alina's bank account. It hurt. It was almost all her savings. But she didn't care. She told herself, "It's just 1 month." Maya's struggle continued. But 1 month turned into 2. 2 months turned into 5. 5 became a year. Maya was trying, but jobs were not coming easily. Every rejection made her feel more useless. And every time she felt weak, she called Alina. Alina supported her emotionally, gave her food, listened to her long cries, held her hands through fear. And every single month, she paid the rent again. $3,200. Again. And again. She worked extra shifts. She sold old things. She cut down her own expenses. Some nights she didn't even eat a proper dinner. But she made sure Maya never knew. That was her promise. The day Maya changed. After a year, Maya finally got a new job. She slowly became confident again. She smiled more. She dressed better. She started going out with friends. But with that confidence, her old pride returned too. She started making small comments again. "You should dress nicer. You should find a better job." Then bigger comments. "You're too simple. You always look poor. You don't understand real life." Each sentence hurt Alina deeply. But she never said anything. She kept paying the rent quietly. Because she remembered the night Maya had cried in her car, broken and afraid. And she remembered how she promised herself that Maya would never feel like that again. So she kept doing everything silently. For 2 whole years. Back to the present. Maya stared at her sister with tears falling freely. "I never knew," she whispered. "I never knew you were going through so much. I thought you just didn't care about life." Alina smiled sadly. "I cared too much, Maya. That was the problem." Maya lowered her head in shame. "I treated you horribly. I judged you. I called you poor. I made fun of you, while you were literally saving me." Alina's voice stayed soft. "You were hurting. People who hurt sometimes hurt others. I understood. Maya shook her head. No, you didn't understand. You were just too kind. And I took advantage of that. Her voice cracked as she asked the question she feared the most. Why didn't you tell me? Why not once? Alina looked into her sister's eyes, calm, strong, honest. Because you were already drowning, Maya. I didn't want you to feel guilty on top of everything else. I wanted you to feel strong again. Maya covered her face, sobbing. How could I be so blind, so selfish? But this was only the beginning. Because the truth that hurt the most hadn't been revealed yet. Maya sat frozen on the couch, tears dripping onto her hands. The shock of Alina's sacrifice was still heavy in the room. Mr. Collins stood quietly by the doorway, waiting for the next truth to unfold. But Alina's eyes, they held something deeper. Something she still hadn't said. Maya felt it. Sister, is there more? She whispered. Alina looked down at her hands. Yes, she said softly. There's more. Maya's stomach twisted. What more could there possibly be, she thought. How can anything be bigger than paying my rent for 2 years? She looked at Alina with desperate eyes. Tell me, please. I need to know everything. Alina took a slow breath. The money wasn't just savings. When you lost your job, Alina began, I used my savings to help. But after a few months, the savings ran out. I needed another way. Maya frowned in confusion. What do you mean? You always said you worked at a small office. That you barely made enough for yourself. Alina nodded. I did work there. But I had something else too, a small investment I made 5 years ago. Maya blinked. Investment? What investment? Alina raised her head. Crypto. Maya's mouth fell open. Crypto? You. But you never talked about it, never. I didn't want to, Alina said calmly. Because I knew no one would take me seriously. And honestly, even I didn't expect it to grow. Maya leaned forward. How much did it grow into? Alina hesitated. Maya repeated slowly, Alina, how much? Alina finally whispered. Enough to cover 2 years of your rent. Enough to take extra shifts. Enough to sacrifice my own comfort. She paused. And still enough to stay unnoticed. Maya felt her heartbeat quicken. Alina, how much is your investment worth now? The number that broke the room. Alina didn't look proud. She didn't smile. She simply answered. $250 million. The room fell silent. Maya's tears stopped instantly. Her breath caught midair. Even Mr. Collins, who had seen thousands of strange cases in his life, widened his eyes. Maya whispered, 250 million? Alina nodded. It grew slowly at first. Then suddenly it exploded. I didn't even understand what was happening until I opened my account one morning. Maya felt her legs go weak. She leaned back against the couch, shocked, speechless, unable to process. Her sister. The same sister she mocked. The same sister she called poor. The same sister she told would never have anything. Was secretly worth hundreds of millions. Maya's heart shattered. Maya covered her face with both hands. Oh my God. Oh my God. She whispered the words over and over, almost shaking. She remembered every insult she ever threw at Alina. You don't understand money. You'll always be average. You don't dress like successful people. And all this time, Alina had more money than anyone Maya had ever met. More than bosses. More than her ex-boyfriends. More than the richest people she knew. Maya felt small. So small that she could barely breathe. She whispered, I was arrogant, and blind, and cruel. Alina reached out and gently touched her arm. You were hurt. And people who hurt often build walls of pride. I never blamed you. But Maya pulled her hand away, crying harder. No, don't defend me. I was horrible to you. I treated you like you were nothing. I judged you. I insulted you. Her voice cracked. And you were silently saving my life. While Alina hid the truth, Maya wiped her tears and asked in a breaking voice. But why didn't you tell me you were rich? Why live like this? Why let me think you were broke? Alina's eyes softened. Because I didn't want to become someone else. Maya sniffled. What do you mean? Alina looked down at her plain clothes, her simple shoes. This is who I am. I like living quietly. I like being simple. Money changed nothing inside me. And I didn't want people to treat me differently. She looked directly at Maya. And I didn't want you to respect me only because of money. Maya felt that sentence like a knife through her heart. She whispered, I don't deserve your kindness. Alina shook her head. You're my sister. Family doesn't need to deserve love. Family is love. But Maya leaned forward and hugged her suddenly, hugging her so tightly that Alina almost lost her breath. "I'm so sorry," Maya cried into her shoulder. "I'm so sorry. If I could take back every word, every insult, I would." Alina hugged her back. "I forgave you a long time ago." But the story was not over. Just when Maya thought she had heard everything, Mr. Collins cleared his throat. "Actually," he said gently, "there is still one more truth. A truth even Maya hasn't discovered yet." Alina's face stiffened. Maya pulled away from the hug. "What truth?" she whispered nervously. "What else is left?" Mr. Collins exchanged a serious look with Alina, and something in that look told Maya that the biggest secret was still waiting. The room felt heavy, too quiet, too still. Maya looked from Mr. Collins to Alina, her heart pounding again. "What truth?" she asked. Her voice shook, but she needed answers. Alina looked away as if afraid to speak. Mr. Collins stepped closer, holding a leather folder in his hand. "This," he said softly, "is something Alina kept hidden even from you, because she wasn't sure how you would react." Maya stared at the folder. Something inside her whispered, "This is big. Bigger than the money." She swallowed hard. "Please, tell me." The mysterious folder. Mr. Collins slowly opened the folder and pulled out a set of papers, neatly arranged, official-looking, sealed with a small gold stamp. Maya leaned forward, her hands trembling. "What is that?" Alina finally looked up. "It's something I did 2 years ago," she said quietly. "The same time your life started falling apart." Maya frowned, confused. "What do you mean?" "That was when I lost my job, when my fiancé left me, when everything went wrong." Alina nodded. "And I couldn't watch you drown." Mr. Collins turned the document around so Maya could see. The title on top read, "Property Transfer Agreement." Maya blinked. "Property transfer?" Her eyes scanned the page again. And then she saw it. Her name. In bold letters. As the owner. Her breath caught in her throat. What is this?" she whispered. The house she didn't know she owned. Mr. Collins spoke calmly, giving her time to understand. "Alina purchased a house 2 years ago. A fully furnished, beautiful home outside the city." Maya's mouth fell open. "A house? But why?" "She never told me, she never even mentioned." "That's because," Mr. Collins said gently, "she didn't buy it for herself." Silence hit the room like a storm. Maya stared at her sister, eyes wide. "You bought a house, for me?" Alina bit her lip, tears forming. "You were struggling. You were losing everything. I wanted you to have something that no one could take away. A place that was safe. A place that was yours." Maya shook her head, unable to believe it. "But why didn't you tell me?" Alina looked down. "Because you were full of pride back then. You would have refused. You would have pushed me away. You would have said you didn't need help, even when you did." Maya felt her heart breaking all over again. She remembered those days. The fear. The shame. The anger she had carried. And she knew Alina was right. She would have refused. A secret hidden in plain sight. Maya whispered, almost scared. "But what about the rent? Why did I pay you rent if the house was already mine?" Alina wiped her eyes. "You didn't pay me rent. I only took the money and put it back into your account. Every payment you made stayed untouched." Maya blinked in disbelief. "So, I wasn't paying rent? I was saving?" Alina nodded. "Yes. Every $3,200 you thought you were paying me went into a savings account in your name. Even today that account has all the money." Maya covered her mouth with her hand. She felt dizzy. Her sister had not only bought her a house. She had also made sure Maya slowly rebuilt her money without realizing it. It was too much. Too much kindness. Too much love. Maya whispered, "I don't know what to say. I don't deserve you." Alina reached out and held her hand. "You don't need to deserve love. You just need to accept it." But there was still a problem. Mr. Collins closed the folder, but he didn't put it away. "However," he said slowly, "there is one issue." Maya stiffened. "Issue? What kind of issue?" Alina's face lost its color. Mr. Collins cleared his throat. "The house, it wasn't purchased anonymously. It was bought under your name from the beginning." Maya frowned. "I don't understand. Isn't that good? Isn't the house legally mine?" Mr. Collins nodded. "Yes, it is. But the developer, the company you purchased from, recently went into bankruptcy." Maya felt a quick stab of fear. "What does that mean for me?" Mr. Collins sighed. It means someone else might be trying to claim the property. They believe the purchase was suspicious since you never signed anything yourself. Maya's heart dropped. So they're trying to take my house? Alina gripped her hand tightly. That's why I called Mr. Collins today. That's why all of this had to come out. Because the only way to protect the house, she paused, is for you to finally step forward and claim ownership publicly. Maya felt her heartbeat thunder. She had never even seen the house. She had never known it existed. And now she was expected to fight for it. But how can I claim something I didn't even know I owned? She asked, voice shaking. Alina looked into her eyes. Because you deserve a home. A real home. And I will stand with you through everything. The next step. Mr. Collins placed a pen on the table. Before anything else, he said, you must sign here. This will confirm that you accept the property as yours. Maya stared at the pen. Her hand trembled. This wasn't just a signature. It was acceptance. Acceptance of her sister's sacrifice. Acceptance of her own mistakes. Acceptance of a future she never expected. She took a deep breath and slowly reached for the pen, just as someone suddenly knocked loudly on the door. The three of them froze. Another knock. Harder this time. Maya whispered. Who is that? Alina exchanged a worried look with Mr. Collins. Because they both knew. The fight for the house had arrived at their door. The knock echoed through the apartment like thunder. Maya froze mid-breath. Her fingers hovered over the pen, inches from signing the property papers. Alina gently pulled her hand back, whispering, wait. Another knock, this time louder, sharper. Bang, bang, bang. Mr. Collins stood immediately, his face turning serious. That's not a friendly knock, he said quietly. Maya felt her heart race. Who would come here? Who even knows about this? Alina swallowed, her expression darkening. I know. Maya looked at her anxiously. Who? Alina didn't answer. Instead, she slowly walked to the door and peeked through the peephole. Her eyes widened. Oh no. What? Who is it? Maya whispered, panic rising in her voice. Alina turned back to them. It's Mr. Davenport. Maya frowned. Who is Mr. Davenport? Mr. Collins stepped forward. He's the lawyer representing the bankrupt real estate company. The one trying to claim the house. Maya felt sick. He came to our home? Why? Alina took a shaky breath. He probably knows we have the documents. He must have followed the legal trail. He wants to intimidate you into giving up. Maya's stomach tightened. Into giving up my house? Alina nodded. Yes. A dangerous visitor. The knocking continued, louder, impatient, almost threatening. Maya Collins? A deep voice called from the other side. This is regarding the property at Silver Oak Heights. I need to speak with you immediately. Maya's chest tightened. He knows my name, she said in a trembling whisper. Mr. Collins motioned for them to step away from the door. Don't open it, he warned firmly. He has no legal right to enter. He's only here to pressure you. The voice outside knocked again. Maya, you need to cooperate. We just want to clear a few things. Maya shook her head. No, I don't trust him. Alina placed a hand on her shoulder. You shouldn't. Through the door, Mr. Davenport continued speaking, his tone growing harsher. You're in possession of property bought under questionable circumstances. If you refuse to talk, we will proceed with legal action immediately. Maya looked at Alina with fear. Is he telling the truth? Alina shook her head quickly. He's bluffing. They have no proof anything illegal happened. I bought the house legally. You're the legal owner. But I didn't sign anything, Maya whispered. That doesn't matter, Alina said firmly. I signed using the legal power of attorney paperwork Dad left us years ago. It allowed me to act on your behalf when you were struggling. Maya's eyes widened. I didn't even know that existed. I know, Alina said softly. I kept it safe for years, just in case. Fear turns into strength. The knocking finally stopped. A tense silence followed. Maya felt the fear tighten around her chest, but slowly, a different feeling began to rise. Anger. Determination. Courage she didn't know she had. She straightened her back. I'm not giving up my house, she said quietly. Alina's eyes softened. Good. Maya's voice grew stronger. That man can shout, threaten, lie, but he can't take something that belongs to me. Not anymore. Mr. Collins smiled proudly. That's the spirit we need. But before they could relax, a paper slid under the door. A white envelope. Alina picked it up carefully and read it. Her face fell. What is it? Maya asked. Alina handed it to Mr. Collins. He opened it and read aloud. Notice of immediate hearing, property ownership dispute. The room went silent. Maya felt dizzy. A hearing? So soon? Mr. Collins nodded. They're trying to rush the case before you can prepare. When is it? Alina asked. Mr. Collins read the bottom of the page. Tomorrow morning. Maya gasped. Tomorrow? But I don't know anything. I don't know how to defend myself. I never even saw the house. Alina squeezed her hand. You're not alone. I'll be there. Mr. Collins will be there. And we have all the documents. Mr. Collins gave a confident nod. Yes, we have everything we need. They're only hoping you panic and back out. Maya looked down at her trembling hands. A day ago she thought she was broke. A day ago she thought she had nothing. Now she had a house, savings, a sister worth hundreds of millions, and a legal fight on her doorstep. She felt her heart race, but she also felt something stronger. I'll fight, she whispered. I have to fight. Alina smiled through tears. I'm proud of you. A night of questions. The sky outside began to grow dark. Alina made tea. Mr. Collins stayed to help gather documents. Maya sat with the folder open, staring at the house photos inside. It was beautiful. Warm lights. A garden. A small balcony. A place where a person could build a life. Her life. But as she stared at the photos, one thought kept echoing in her head. Why did Alina go so far for me? Why spend millions? Why hide it? Why sacrifice everything? She looked at her sister. Something in Alina's eyes, something sad, something heavy, made Maya realize. Alina still wasn't telling the full story. There was something deeper. Something painful. Something personal. And Maya wasn't sure she wanted to know. But she needed to. She took a deep breath. Alina, tell me the real reason, she said softly. Alina froze. Mr. Collins looked away, giving them space. Maya repeated, voice quiet but firm. Why did you really buy me that house? Alina's eyes filled with tears. And finally she whispered, because I didn't want you to repeat my mistake. Maya's breath caught in her throat. Your mistake, she whispered. What mistake, Alina? Alina sat slowly on the couch, her hands shaking. She looked smaller than ever, fragile, broken, scared. Maya moved closer, her heart pounding. What happened? She asked softly. Alina took a long breath. And finally, the truth came out. A past she never spoke about. When I was younger, Alina began, her voice trembling, I trusted someone I shouldn't have. Maya's chest tightened. A man? She asked. Alina nodded. Yes, I thought he loved me. I thought he wanted a future with me. He convinced me to move in with him. Maya felt a cold pain in her chest. I didn't know this, she whispered. That's because I hid it, Alina said. I didn't want to darken your life with my mistakes. She looked down at her hands. He told me he would buy a house for us. He convinced me to sign documents I didn't understand. I believed him. I trusted him. Maya already knew where this was going. He tricked you, she said quietly. Alina nodded, tears falling. The house was never for us. It was only in his name. And one day he told me to leave. He said I didn't belong there anymore. I had nowhere to go. No money. Nothing. Maya covered her mouth with her hand, tears rising. Oh, Alina. 4 months, Alina continued. I slept on friends' couches. I worked extra shifts. I tried to rebuild myself. But the shame, the pain, it stayed inside me. She hugged her arms around her body as if trying to hold herself together. I told myself I would never let someone I loved go through the same thing. I wanted you to have what I never had, security, a home where no one could throw you out, a place that belonged only to you. Maya felt her heart break into 1,000 pieces. She reached out and took Alina's shaking hands. Why didn't you tell me? Maya whispered. Alina looked at her with tired, red eyes. Because I didn't want you to look at me with pity. I wanted to be strong for you. I wanted to protect you, even if you didn't want my help. A painful silence filled the room. Maya wrapped her arms around Alina tightly, hugging her like she should have years ago. I'm so sorry you went through that, Maya whispered. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. I'm sorry I judged you. I'm sorry I didn't see your pain. Alina cried into her shoulder. You were suffering too, she whispered back. No, Maya said firmly. You suffered alone. You carried everything alone. And that ends now. The day of the hearing. The next morning arrived too fast. Maya stood outside the courthouse with Alina on her left and Mr. Collins on her right. Her hands were cold, but her heart felt stronger. "I'm scared," she whispered. Alina squeezed her hand. "You're not alone. I'm right here." Maya nodded. They entered the courtroom. Mr. Davenport was already inside, holding thick files, smirking like he had already won. Maya felt a chill. But she lifted her chin. He didn't scare her anymore. The fight begins. The hearing started. Mr. Davenport stood up first. "Your Honor, the house was purchased under suspicious circumstances. The buyer," he pointed at Maya, "never signed the documents. We believe the property legally belongs to the developer." Maya's pulse raced. But before fear could take over, Mr. Collins stood. "Your Honor," he said calmly, "the documents were signed legally using a power of attorney granted by the family's late father. Here is the proof." He handed over the papers. The judge examined them carefully. Mr. Davenport's smirk faded. Mr. Collins continued. "Additionally, every payment was made from Alina's verified bank accounts, all legal. There was no fraud, no trick, no wrongdoing." He placed another folder on the desk. "This is a straightforward case. The house belongs to Maya. It always has." Maya felt tears forming. For once, someone was fighting for her. The moment of truth. The judge looked at both sides, then spoke. "After reviewing the evidence, it is clear that the property was legally purchased and legally transferred. Therefore," Maya held her breath. "The house belongs to Maya Collins. Case closed." Maya gasped. Alina grabbed her hand. Mr. Collins smiled proudly. Mr. Davenport froze, shocked, defeated, and slowly walked away. Maya couldn't believe it. She won. She really won. A new beginning. Outside the courthouse, Maya turned to her sister. "I don't know how to thank you," she whispered. "You don't need to," Alina said with a warm smile. "I didn't do it for thanks. I did it because I love you." Maya hugged her again, this time with her whole heart. "I promise," Maya said softly, "from today, I'll be a better sister, a better person. I won't let pride, anger, or fear come between us ever again." Alina smiled through happy tears. "And I won't hide things from you again." They held hands as they walked toward their car, together, stronger, finally healed. Maya looked at the sky and whispered, "I'm not broke. I'm not lost. I have a home. I have a future. And I have the best sister in the world." And for the first time in years, she felt whole.